Hey there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another episode of Vintage Story. So, on the last episode, we ended off conquering the Residence Archive and taking all the sweet goodies our hands can hold. But now it seems that we're in a particularly strange place here. This is actually the area I was referring to have found as a good location for the large-scale idea that I had in mind, to which I named Temporal City, or Temporality. And honestly, let me know which one you favor more, because I'm also going to be open up to suggestions, and considering it's just a principal idea at the moment and less so of a concrete plan, yeah, you get it. I didn't actually bother recording any of the footage of the journey itself, transferring all the items, all the litter. It took me all of an entire afternoon, and it was painful. So, also nothing particularly interesting happened along the way either, so yeah. But anyways, this city is going to be a large-scale project. So much so that I kind of actually question how I should go about making videos on this journey. Like, be it continuing the day-to-day pace as I sort of have, recording the tasks that have to be done sort of thing, or instead just compiling it all together to make some kind of collage of the many things that I can do. But I may just stick with the latter, considering we have a lot ahead of us at this point, and I want you to see it through with me. But just let me know. Obviously, I'm going to keep it as entertaining as I possibly can and cut out all the monotonous tasks, like clay forming, for instance. I doubt we will do very much clay forming. But anyways, this city is going to be essentially the emblem of everything I've created before. I've tried to create a very similar feat to this in the past, but unfortunately never really crossed the threshold. The idea itself was literally a gigantic cave in the side of a gigantic mountain, and it was working out really well. I had my entire lore path set out for it in front of it and everything. And yeah, it was just, I guess at the time it was especially just too daunting, and life got in the way too, and it just ended up scrapping it, unfortunately. But as far as this goes, I'm going to be taking a Jonas machinery and fantasy industrialism approach with some vibes of different cultures, all mangled together collaboratively. And really what that means is I'm world building. So I'm pretty friggin' excited. I will be honest and say, however, of course, I don't have a full grasp of the idea itself. Like anything put in a large scale, you have the idea and work on the principles and everything hopefully should work themselves out. But I'm also going to be counting on your feedback majorly for how we actually progress and the directions that we take in between. So I'll be watching the comments, and since I found out yesterday, actually, I'll also be posting little text posts. They're kind of like Facebook posts, but on the actual channel. So you can find them on my page to encourage me or encourage the process, or just give me some creative ideas. And so when I say fantasy industrialism, what that means is we'll be taking the core ideas of some of the vintage story lore, along with the Jonas Falk's machinery and concepts, and mashing them together with a structure-based operation. So yeah, it's going to be a metric load of chiseling. Just a forewarning, if anybody's not into that, or if you have a great big creative side and you enjoy that kind of thing, well then this is probably going to be your cup of tea, unless you don't like the scene of it. I don't know, but either way. And I may or may not even be considering chiseling the ground itself. But yeah, so that's it for now. That's the core idea of this, and hopefully that allows you to reach into my headspace a little bit. I love the fact that my character just decided to scratch his head at that time. But yeah, I'm really excited to start this, especially now that we're here. But yeah, all that said, let me go to sleep and I will show you around the place some. It's going to be pretty hard to actually show this place, and what I'm going to be doing before that actually is I have a Jonas lamp on my hotbar here, and I'm going to have this just at the moment symbolize the beginning of the city. technically it doesn't really mean anything else. It's just I had the lamp from the other Jonas pieces I had, which this is not organized at all. It was with the pipes, I'm pretty sure. But considering this is like towards the line of what direction that we're actually going, I think it's fitting to use the lamp to symbolize that. So we'll put the lamp down right next to Horus. And that marks the feat for our new city. So hopefully y'all see it through, and hopefully we get some really damn cool things going. But yeah, so let me show you around here. I just kind of threw together, like, just dropped down my my bushes here and chopped down a few of the trees that were around this area, which this is an absolutely massive area. It's really incredible. I'm so stoked to work on this. We have a gigantic mountain here, which really you can't see it. I will jump into a creative world that I've duplicated this world and removed all the trees. Not removed, I've generated the world without the trees, because they just use the same seed, blah blah blah, to get a better grasp and understanding of the actual scenery and how we could use things. So we'll probably do I'll probably do some creative building in that duplicated world just to see if things work together properly. And just get an idea before I come into survival and actually build things and use resources and spend absolutely hours, because I'm going to be spending so many hours on this already. I want to try to save myself time if that's all possible, because this is going to be so big. But yeah, let me show you the particularly interesting thing that actually led me to finding this place. So, down here is our translocator chain. It was of 3 translocators that were semi-close to each other that took us to this area. And as you can see, where is that? Is the first number that's south? No. Okay, so we're 19,000 blocks south. So yeah, we traveled quite a distance away considering we were at 0, 0. So, but I actually saw this on the map. And if y'all know, that's a hot spring. I thought there was no way, no chance in hell that was one big hot spring. Let me take you over there. Alright, we're coming up on it now. And this is actually incredible. I have never seen something quite like this. I don't know if this is just one hot spring or if it's many, like, put together. I have no idea, but it's absolutely insane. I have never seen a hot spring this goddamn big. And also, it's super fitting with everything that I'm doing, that there's like this building here that's channeled in with this hot spring, and it really inspires me to do... Oh no, they're just in the hot spring. I thought they were like fighting each other. I was like, what the hell? But yeah, seeing this here by this hot spring inspires the hell out of me. Considering, you know, like the idea of like boiler room and whatnot, and there's already like a building here, and the area is cleared out. It's perfect. It's actually perfect, and way more than we'll ever need. I don't know if I want to keep this hot spring here and do something with it and not destroy it, like maintain it as best as possible. But also build something over it that, like, I don't know, harnesses the power or maybe utilizes it as a boiler room in a different way. I don't know, but it's super inspiring. And I absolutely am in love with it. I'm in love with everything going on here. Oh. Empty sky blocks. Okay. But yeah, I have not cleared this area out. What the hell? Things are getting weird. I have not cleared this area out, so let's just go ahead and do that. I feel like this is the first time I've ever actually been worried about falling into a hot springs unintentionally. Rusted heavy gate. Can I make that? Oh, you can with the gatekeepers. Okay, cool. Oh, fuck. Oh. Is that a book that fell on me? Oh, that reminds me. I also did bring back the lore books that I forgot to show off. I may or may not have already collected the majority of the lore, though, that you can collect. Mainly from the Resonance Archive, considering the fact that more than half of the books obtained from the archive I actually could not read. Because they've been read before. So damn hard to hit those guys. I'll tell you what, I'm a big fan of this longsword. I usually rock the arming sword because I think it looks nicer, but I've never used the longsword. It looks pretty damn nice itself. Nomad boots? I don't think I've actually seen that before. Nothing in that book. What do these look like? They look like alligator skins. Or crocodile skins. I feel like we could probably do something with that later. Gatekeeper's blueprint right here. But we already have, I think, 3 of them at this point. So I will not be picking that up. I will take the protective suit rack, though. Unfortunate that it's already broken, but... Or it's the ruined state of it, anyway. And then these ones are especially destroyed. Alright, well, I guess that's that for this ruin. But let's go to the top of our mountain. Number 1, so you can have a bit of a lay of the land. Hopefully, it's not raining or snowing up there and I can't see shit anyway. But we'll see. But while we're here, I'm just gonna point out it's kind of difficult to see. So I will hopefully have a picture put up on screen of the map and the ridges kind of outlined. But this is actually like, so this is flat land all through here. Well, semi-flat land. There's a ridge that follows this redwood forest right here, all the way around, and this becomes a bit of an inlet between these 2 ridges. And I want this to be like an outstanding entrance to the city itself. I just think it'll be a cool idea. Alright, it seems like we're up here, and yeah, like I said, of course it's raining or snowing. A little bit of both when you walk that way. Let me see if I can turn it off. And let me actually go ahead and bring up the scene brightness. Give you a little bit of the land coverage. Now, if I turn up my my rendering or my view distance, it does get a little choppy just because of the sheer volume of foliage. So I won't for now, and instead I will show you the area right now in creative. Alright, and here we are. So this is the creative duplicate, essentially no tree world. It's exactly the same, except upon further investigation, since we climbed onto the tower ourselves, or on top of the mountain ourselves, these 2 towers are not actually in the world, which is super strange. I was flying around just to see if all the other ruins were there, and they are. And I mean, just at the hot springs alone, that's correct. That is there as well. So it's very strange to me that this particular ruin is not. They're all a part of the Better Ruins mod. and everything else loaded exactly as it should have, but this one is new, which is strange. It's not all too disappointing though, because I'm pretty sure it did not go all the way to the top where some of the Jonas machinery is, due to the cap, the world cap being 384. But anyways, so this is the world. This is what we have to work with. This is where I'm anticipating the entrance to the city being. And I'm hoping this to be a commons area, essentially. Industrial districts over here with attached like lumberyard, essentially, with a crane, pulley system, and well, the all around workup, since there is the redwoods area. Let me fly out just a little bit more so you can see how this place really looks. I'll tell you what, I am so friggin' excited. I know I'm saying that a lot, but this is a very big and very inspired idea that I've had for a long time. And now being able to get to it is a very cool feeling. As I look at these ridges more, I want to meet the ridge in between. So we're literally going, I'm frozen. We're literally going to move a mountain, essentially. We're going to chop down half of this ridge and then raise the other half as well, so that there will not be just a staggeredness to the ridge itself. Or maybe we should keep it. I don't know what is the better option, but I do know we will be digging into some of this landscape. For instance, flattening pretty much all of this right here. Now, we don't want things too flat, obviously. Maybe thinking about it now, maybe the ridge breakup here would be good for foliage and whatnot, and then the breakup to the city up here. So I'm thinking up here can be like your typical town, like suburb area where there's houses and whatnot, and down here is your more industrial city. Like skyscrapers and that kind of scene. So what I'm gonna do to show off how this all looks together, like the scene and whatnot, I'm actually gonna put up screenshots so that you could get a good idea or concept to how the terrain looks, and give yourselves a little idea of what we're doing. Alright, well, with all that being shown, let me get back to our survival world. Alright, so I think the first thing that we'll do is, I was looking at the map here local to us, and I think what we're going to do is we're going to start with a starter base. And yes, officially a starter base, not some ruin that we've taken over and used as a personal shed. So, looking at the grand scheme of things, thinking about it, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to build things as I need them for the most part. But for the starter base, just to get things going, like up and running and whatnot, because it will help to expand our storage and whatnot with converting everything to iron chests, and we can implement later on all of the necessary facilities in the actual map itself, and then build locally around to them with what is regulated, or what is regular to be surrounding that thing. So I think what we're going to do is I marked right here, and our starter base is going to be a bit of a factory, a general all-purpose sort of. But before we do any of that, let me go to sleep, and then in the morning I will go over and kill a giraffe. I still have not seen any bison in this area, unfortunately, but hopefully they will be here, because I'm pretty sure they do spawn where giraffes spawn. And in the meantime, I'm definitely going to be on the lookout for any dire wolves, so hopefully I'll find a pup. At first, when I realized that this was a very rainy area, I was a little discouraged. I thought it was like a pretty close to a perfect area, and then it just started raining all the time. And at first I thought that was going to be an issue, but the more I think about it, I feel like that's more fitting in a way. So hopefully it should work out. This is the first shepherd I've seen in a while. think I've spoken about these guys sometime before. So this is an Ent Shepherd. He's fairly neutral, kind of like the iron, or not the iron golems, the same Minecraft. Kind of like those regular stone golems that walk around. They only, yeah, well, I got a little too close to him. They'll only attack you if you get too close. But since he has an Ent Shepherd, I'll leave him in the tree alone, because they're a pretty cool duo. Well, I found a few direwolves at this point, but no pups, unfortunately. But there are plenty of like sow and pigs and whatnot here, so hopefully that means that they'll have enough food to actually breed. But yeah, this area is absolutely gorgeous. Then when you come down here, this is the area that I found actual giraffe in. When I saw them at first, I was extremely excited. But also I was running around with my horse at a point, and well, I fell into a hole all the way to the bottom, died there, and it was so deep that I was actually worried about how I would actually get out. I ended up just going into creative because at the time I was just, you know, I had just moved all of my stuff over and I was just sick of it, so I was like, fuck it, I'm going into creative mode and just flying down there. Yeah, it's a hole that goes straight down to bedrock. It's actually insane, but this area is especially awesome. This is the biggest, like, plains area I have ever seen. It's so open. It's incredible. It's so open on such a large scale that it makes that look beautiful. Otherwise, flat areas aren't usually my thing, but just because it's so big, it looks really good. And from the time that I was recording the actual intro, this is actually the next morning. At the time, after last night, going through creative and realizing that some of the ruins were in the correct places and some didn't spawn at all, like the towers on top of the mountain, bewildered me, and I was looking around just a little bit more, not going so far out of like my initial area. But it was just strange to me that that one area did not spawn. So I took a little bit of time in between checking that out and seeing what was going on, just to see if there was anything else for me to worry about. It being so open, I have no doubt that it'll be much easier to find more translocators. Hopefully we can make a chain going to some other part as well. But really, I would like to open up some translocators that are local to us to see where they go, but also to tear apart any kind of unusable translocators. So that way we can use some, so that way hopefully by that time we'll have steel and we can make a crowbar, and with that we can actually tear apart the translocators and use them for parts to create our own translocators and link them together to places that we want to go. And what I'm thinking is kind of like translocator chains or some sort of translocator network that bands together the city itself. So like, because this is going to be a big city, for instance, a translocator from the far east to the far west sort of thing, because otherwise even just traveling by horse, it still takes a few minutes to get from one side to the other. Definitely in this area, it looks like if we're going to be clay forming at all, it'll likely be blue clay. It looks like we have some peat over here, but we're not going to be worrying about none of that, considering the amount of redwoods, and we do need to tear down all these trees here, and more than likely right here as well. I'm pretty sure we slept before we even went over there, didn't we? It's already the next morning. Or, the next morning, what the hell, the next night. We have to sleep again. That's crazy. And we'll go ahead and light these up and get some food going. And yeah, I could definitely cook these in cooking pots and whatnot, but just because of the amount of meat, I'm worried about it actually not being fresh at that point, because that is a lot of meat. Okay, so if I'm gonna build a factory, right, what is the best pieces that we can make? And I do already have a bunch of chisel tools ready to go here. So we have the pantograph, the iron chisel, obviously, the wedge, the planer. We have the hammer, and I actually did go ahead and make the spark wrench just because it was a lot easier than I anticipated. It looks very strange. The iron spanner parts, it's literally just right on the anvil. There's nothing special about it. But the frame parts was the thing that I was thinking was weird because I never actually clicked into it before. But it's super simple, so it's almost too simple in a way. I feel like it shouldn't be this simple because I feel like you could actually do this like way early on, and that's insane to me. Because it's just 4 firewood, a charcoal, and any knife. And obviously it doesn't consume the knife, it just uses durability just like anything that you're creating with a tool. But then once you make it, you have to actually put on clay, and it doesn't need to be both forms of clay either. It could be all one thing of clay. So it could be all blue clay or all fire clay, whatever. A charcoal in the middle, and then that frame mold that you've created from before. And then you just throw it into a fire. Like, that's it. It's kind of insane. So like the cloth construction kit, all you need is some flax fiber to make the fiber linens, and then a stick and a fiber linen make the cloth. And you just need 4 frame parts. The only thing is the logic circuit, which I never looked at before, and that's incredibly easy too. It's just a copper bit with a frame part. That's like super easy. This is the first time I've looked at these things. The panel's the easiest, just boards. This is all looks like metal construction kit is just any metal. I guess that makes sense. I wonder if that influences. No, it probably doesn't, because it all results in the construction kit. So it probably doesn't influence durability in any way, which is kind of a shame, but hopefully it'd be alright. I'm surprised the cloth detailing kit doesn't actually include any cloth, but the construction kit does. That's weird. Same with the detailing kit. I don't know. This stuff is super interesting to me, and I'm definitely interested in understanding what the flying is all about. The one thing I definitely never tested though is the sea darter. And so I have tested in my creative flat world the flying assembly. I tried a little bit on the machine chargers, so I sort of have an idea, but not completely. I feel like it's a little wonky and I don't understand it all that yet, but we'll figure that out as we go. But the flying I did test a little bit. I couldn't figure out, considering it's a carrier, I figured you would be able to actually put storage on it, but I could not figure that out at all. So I might have to look that up. But as far as the sea assembly, or the sea hauler, I don't know if that's like a vessel that goes into the water, like a submarine, or if it's just something that floats above the water. But I have not used it or seen it or tested it in any way, so that should be interesting. I kind of hope it becomes a submarine. That would be so friggin' cool. We're gonna need more wood. Need probably more than that too. I did put some barrels over here, so let's just go ahead and throw the leather I have in there now, so that we get that going, and then we could actually sleep, and it'll use that time that we've slept. And this is for 20 hours. Cool. Some prepared hide in here. And we'll throw the stripped in there, and then we'll throw into... There we go. There's a lot of redwoods in this area, but it's majorly pine forests. What I would like to build out of is either oak and walnuts. And we do want sidings as well. So should we work on like the quarry immediately, or there's so much to do? I think what I'm gonna start with is trying to find a walnut. And I'm pretty sure when I was testing, or when I was looking around here, I'm pretty sure I actually saw a walnut over here, but I did not mark it. So let me see if I can find that. And actually, before I do that, let me see if I could get make some shears. Or I think I have some shears, let me get that. Having shears will hopefully increase our chance of actually getting acorns that we can plant ourselves. I have no idea where I've seen it before, but I'm pretty sure it was around this area. Shoot. Well, if we're not going to find walnut, I guess let's just get at least get an oak and bring it back with us. What's this? Peach tree. I really ought to have marked that tree back when I first found it, because I definitely can't find it. That's a shame. Oh, we'll find more. If not over here, then elsewhere. It is incredibly foggy. And okay, so the lights that are right here, this is what I was thinking about when I knew that it was going to be extremely rainy and whatnot. Like lights off in the distance, especially towers of lights and whatnot. I think that would be an incredibly cool thing to see. Everything like coming into fruition, or like entering the scene, and it being large, tall buildings with Jonas blue lighting, and white lights, string lights around like the marketplace and whatnot. A lot of lights and electricity is going to be used here, so that's the idea of things. So I think it's going to be super, super cool. Woke up to the sound of thunder. That's interesting. We're going to need some more food here shortly, too. Especially going to want to eat before we actually get to the chiseling, too. Otherwise, that'd be a bit of a pain. You know, the more I think about it, the more I'm thinking that the quarry should actually go in this area as well. Because I'm noticing that there is the shale and andesite here. I wonder if the majority of this area should be like a quarry. But then again, a lumber yard is going to be here as well. Maybe the lumber yard gets moved here and gets moved with pulleys and whatnots. Because I was originally going to put it right here and have this whole bit be a station. But I suppose it could be here. Is this a damn walnut? It is a walnut. Right here out in the open, and of course, I find it and I did not bring my shears. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Well, let's actually go ahead and mark it, so that we can come back to it later. Wait. Is this... there's quite a few walnut trees here, actually. Sweet. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of them. Oh, this is magnificent. I think I'll leave the factory building for the next episode as well, because I feel like I haven't checked I haven't checked exactly where we're sitting at on time. But I feel like it's pretty close to that, even through the editing and whatnot. Alright, let's see what these are all about. Is that a translocator tower? I think that is. Let's see, can I see it from here? It is, yeah, buddy. Doesn't look broken either. What you got? You got a lore book? Carrots and some flint, huh? Cool. Well, I will not turn down a translocator. You know what? I've seen one of these before. Oh, that's separate. I saw them together when I was over there. I thought they were the same. I've seen this before, and last time I've seen this was in the multiplayer world, except there was a lot of lava, and it was struck by a meteorite. So there was meteoric iron pretty much everywhere. But doesn't look like that's the case for this one. We will be taking the windows, though. I see those rusty gears on top of there. Hopefully I don't forget them. Bust out all this paneling. In short, we're much more likely to be making our own windows than using these lead panels, but if we're ever going to use them, it's much easier just to obtain the lead panels than making them ourselves. I'll take that, thank you. It would be interesting to actually renovate these like houses over here, though. What's going on here? I'm beyond curious. Oh. Alright. That's pretty cool. Alright, what are you? Survival goods. Take this, you son of a bitch. Bees. Oh, hello. Yeah, buddy. Home sweet home. You can even call this a home. Living outside in an encampment right now. Alright, y'all. Well, I think that's gonna do it for this episode. So, at the start of the next video, we will start on actually working on the factory itself, just because I've ran out of time at this point. So, next time we'll actually work on the factory and probably do some landscaping, make sure everything works. But yeah. Thanks for sticking in there with me. I hope you found all this interesting and hopefully inspires some creative ideas from you. And please give me feedback. Let me know like what your ideas are for things that you might want to see, or just some ideas in general. So, thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one. Cheers.